Hey guys, Technivorous here. We are just getting ready to set up a print on my ET4. So let's jump right over there. I'm going to hit the print button. It's going to take a few minutes to warm up. And we're just going to hang out while this guy prints for a while. So now I will tell you I do have a little bit of trouble with this eccentric nut right here. So I can't get it just right as far as tightening it. So when it comes down to the bed, I'm going to have to make a little adjustment by hand to make sure that the layer is coming out smoothly. After that, it runs perfectly, but it just seems to be a little bit too loose, and I can't quite get it snug no matter which way I turn it. But other than that, I haven't really had any problems with the ET4. I'm really enjoying playing around with it, and I'm going to get another print off it right now. Basically what we're going to print is another one of these guys. I have one more right here. It won't fit on the Ender because of the type, or excuse me, the Tarantula Pro because of the type of extruder that's on there. But this one is going to go on the Ender 3, and then I had a little bit of breakage on that one there, so I wanted to replace it. I got a little rough with it trying to pry it on there, so it's functional, it works, it's sitting there, and it looks cool, but I'd like it to be a little bit more secure. So this is something you'll see in a video I'm putting up, I believe, tomorrow. And I'll give you the thing to download it on Thingiverse then. I don't quite have it ready just yet. So I do need to remove all of this support here. But let's jump over to the printer and take a look at it as it's preheating. So this is the ET4 here, and we can actually go ahead and take a look. Let me see here, give me 1 second. Oh, wrong one. I need the other camera. And we can actually just go ahead and I can zoom down there. Hang on 1 second. So we'll zoom and then tilt and then pan, and we'll make a minor adjustment here. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy, guys. Here we go. You actually get a pretty decent view of the screen there. Although I do want to get a little bit closer. Hang on 1 second, because I don't want to make you guys nauseous. So let's go back to the other camera. And give me just a second. I can get this in view here. Pretty well focused. And you can see it's starting to go to work behind me. I'm going to make that little adjustment I was talking about here. Little stringies hanging out down there. So yeah, as you may have noticed, my internet connection got a little bit of an upgrade, so we should be streaming pretty well here. Let's get that shot of the screen. You can see the temperature is all the way up, and it does give me a percentage, a time, all of that stuff. Let's, now that we're not moving around, make a couple more adjustments to this here, just because still getting used to all of this equipment. So configure video, take that down a notch, and then we're gonna go in here, zoom in a little more, see if we can do anything about that focus. No, alright, well, I'll play with that another time. Let's get back over to, well, my ugly mug for one. Make another quick adjustment, and we will just check out the print here, which is stringing out like a mug. Alright, let's restart this. I'll let you see how ugly this is here. Stops pretty quickly. It's like almost instantly. Some of the printers that I've used will wait to finish that last little line of G-code. That is me not paying enough attention to that first line. Like I said, it's going to home again. What a lovely view. Hang on one second, Howie. I'll show you what we're printing. I'm just trying to get my camera backed up a little bit here and aimed in the right direction. Okay, so you see that sword thing there? So that's twisting on the extruder knob. That is what we are printing. We're printing another one of those. If I can get my damn printer to work right. Like I said, I have issues with this eccentric nut on the right side. You see a big bulge there. And I can't quite get it tight. So I'm kind of just playing around. I mean, I don't really have a lot of stuff I need to print right now. And I've been playing with this ET4 for the review. That nut is going to drive me crazy. Normally, if I can get it there, it works pretty well. This purge line you see is going sideways like that because it's one of the things that I printed in Fusion, or I sliced in Fusion 360. So. There we go. That looks better. So we'll let that run for a minute while I get a little bit better view. Oh, I need to go down lower. We'll get this, guys. We'll get it. Okay, so there we go. Now we're printing. And this is that thermochromic filament. So it shows up white when it comes out, but it is a pink spool. So I want to zoom all the way out. Turn autofocus back on. And we're just going to leave the camera like this. I'm done messing around with it. So I wanted to be able to hang out and kind of chat with people. Don't have long for this live stream, but I'm going to be doing a lot more of these pretty soon because, as I said, my internet quality just got a lot better. So I don't know why I bother typing. Anyway, it was working okay this morning, relatively well for me, but I haven't tried it this afternoon yet. So Thingiverse is always jacked up. It's really no surprise. I've been thinking lately about. I've seen a lot of people doing videos on different options for downloading STLs, and I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I haven't made one myself in quite a while, probably since one of the first videos I made, but it's something I definitely need to revisit. There are a lot of things I need to look into, like the Prusa marketplace for STLs. I haven't looked at in over a year, so. What, Thingiverse is different? Yeah, they did mix some things up. I noticed that. I noticed they also put a advertisement on the main page, kind of mixed it in there with the models, and it straight up says that they're trying to raise money for Thingiverse. So I think that's a step in the right direction as far as, I mean, they get a lot of demand and don't really have a lot of income. So, I mean, that's not really the larger chunk of the business model for them, really, if you know what I'm saying. It's really just a storage center. Oh, you got it, MJ. I saw that. Yeah, that's one of the things. I also Were you the one asking about the ABS for the TiVo Tarantula Pro? Because I made a video on some recommendations for that today as well, although I'm not sure if it posts until tomorrow. But we're going to be going and doing some ABS prints on the TiVo Tarantula Pro pretty soon and jumping back over and revisiting that. I have a little bit more work here to do with the ET4 before I can finish the actual review. So I'm just kind of nailing some things down, and then we'll kind of get back to, I want to do a beginner's guide for the Tarantula Pro and probably for the ET4 too if I can get all the little kinks worked out. So I'm going to step away for a few minutes, guys, but I'll be back in just a few. You guys can watch the printer prints until then. Okay, and sorry about that. I am back, guys. I see this print is going down somewhat decently. I'm getting a little stringing between the supports of the model there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that without making it all shaky and sickening. You can kind of see it in there, especially on the right side tower there. Yeah, that fan duct is the one that comes with it. I haven't experimented with changing it yet. I did see one yesterday that was pretty sweet, but it goes over the front and kind of made it hard to access this. Now that you can't see it here, at the top here, there's a connector built in for a bed leveling sensor. Um, and I'm probably going to have to design my own fan to go around that, or in order to enable that to work as well while still getting more coverage, because it doesn't really suck, but it's blowing right where the hot end meets the nozzle, which is not ideal. I would rather it blew more at the tip of the nozzle where the plastic was getting laid down, preferably at the plastic and not the nozzle itself, but not a lot of mods out for this yet. And it's interesting because this thing's like exactly like an Ender 3, almost exactly. It just has a couple more little bells and whistles on it, I guess you could say. You can see the sensor here. It's just a two-prong plug that goes in there, and actually I can show it to you here. Maybe. There it is, buried in there with all this other stuff. So it's just this little guy here. Plugs in. Excuse me, you gotta make sure your nozzle is cooled down, and then that basically pops right over your nozzle. So this has to be able to reach from there to there. So with that other fan going right here, it was not really ideal. I suppose could make it reach down the side, either side there, but You know, this thing's pretty cool. I like the touchscreen, but I don't love the touchscreen. I mean, there's a lot of options in Marlin that you lose out on when you opt for the touchscreen, unless basically you build your own from the ground up. So I haven't really had the time to dive into doing all that, so I've kind of just been using the functionality that's available to me. Although I would like to get one of those dual, where it's a touchscreen and the regular LCD screen, so you can use the knob as well. I think that gives you the most functionality without having to fiddle with it constantly, because it is nice to be able to touch it and be like, okay, print this, and it'll print, but it's kind of annoying not to be able to go in and adjust things like PID settings and things like that. So it does have a pretty nice system for homing, and it comes with a filament runout sensor built in too, which I haven't actually ran out of filament in order to use yet. So I did set the sensor off on purpose the other day to get a shot of the screen that it shows you, just for documentation's sake, because I was curious. I thought that'd probably be something that would be included in a thorough review. So and I love this thermochromic filament, because if you look at it, you can see this is the same, that filament right there with the sword that's spinning around behind it. That's the same exact thing it's printing now, and it's the same filament that it's printing now. So it's like it definitely messes with people when they're watching it print and they're like, hey, why is it white? Yeah, that's a good question too, MJ. I'm always curious to see what people are using, because I'm kind of always going back and forth. I have SolidWorks, Design Spark Mechanical. Lately I've been using mostly Fusion 360, but Blender's pretty decent as well. Howie, the front fan there, hang on and I will zoom in on it, because it's working. It's just moving really, really fast. So hang on 1 second. Hold your breath, guys. Look away. I don't want to make anybody get dizzy. You can see it turning there. And back we go. I don't know, Wicked Stick. I haven't tried the Chimera yet. I need to get my hands on one. I have done a couple direct drive setups. Both of them were printed mods. And I can tell you, at least for me, the trade-off in vibration because of the added weight on the X carriage was not really worth it on my Ender 3. So I ended up going back to a Bowden tube extruder. But there are a lot of people who have done it successfully on several different printers, including the CR10 and the Ender 3, in fact, and who rave about them. So I am not too familiar with any of the ones that are manufactured, but if you are going to go that route, definitely try one of them, because like I said, I've tried a couple of the printed ones and they're not horrible. It worked really well for printing TPU for me, but other than that, it only worked for TPU because I had to slow way down for the TPU anyway, which reduced the jerk. But other than that, it slows down the printing of pretty much everything else, with at least with the setups that I had had. So that being said, like I said, I do want to try the Chimera, and I have seen some people who can actually run amazingly fast I don't know if they have different jerk and acceleration settings set, if they have to dial all that in separately as well, I would assume, in order to get like a perfectly tuned system, but yeah, you're welcome. You'll see somewhere around here there's a video about it, and there's a link to one in there, and it mounted really well. It should go on a CR10. It's just like Ender 3 on the carriage there, but it just was not optimal for me. Right now I'm cleaning up the last one of these that I printed. So still needs a little bit more cleanup, a little bit on the rough side, but not too bad. That one's gonna go on the Ender 3 over there. I moved the knob I had on there. It was just like a little pentagram thing. This time I made this one, I really wanted to make one that was a lot larger and that you could see visually as it was turning. A little bit more dramatic, as you see it twitching back and forth there. I think it looks cool. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I put this here so you kind of see the temperature change. It does change to white a lot quicker than it turns back to its natural state, unless you stick it in like ice water or something. That camera is, hang on a second, I'll get you the exact specs. It is a C920C Logitech. So, excuse me. And then, hi. This one is I gotta bring it back up. C270 from Logitech. Definitely like the other one better. It's the one that Corey sent me, and it screws right on to this pole I have. Basically, I have a green screen as well that I don't put up because I don't really have a reason to use it on this channel. So, just kind of hangs out there. But yeah, that's basically going to be it, guys. I'm going to have to call it for this stream. I got a couple of things I need to take care of. I would say I'm sorry for torturing you and not showing you the finished product, but you have seen it. If you want another peek, here it is. This is it. I will have this model up on Thingiverse in the next couple of days if you guys want to check it out. And I will leave this chat room open for a couple of days, or excuse me, a couple of minutes so you guys can say your goodbyes and everything. Hey, Corey, I was just talking about you. They were asking me what camera I was using, and I told them that the view they're getting right now is the one that you sent me, which is definitely the best picture I've gotten so far. And it definitely doesn't hurt that your lights are working right now, too. So hopefully I'll see more of this, or excuse me, hopefully you'll see more of this setup in the future. So thanks again to Corey. Thanks all you guys for stopping by. And I will be back on, if not sometime today, once I come up with an actual plan for a stream, tomorrow. I'm kind of just brainstorming.